His claims are bizarre.
Aliens are here on planet Earth. Our political leaders, okay, prime ministers, presidents, vice presidents, senators, not all of them, but most of them are not really human. They are reptilian aliens hiding behind human form.
His story, nearly impossible to believe.
Look, I am not a conspiracy theorist. Before all of this began, if you would have told me that aliens or UFOs were real, I would have laughed in your face. But what we captured on video is real.
Is this man just another desperate filmmaker looking for publicity? Or is he telling the truth?
If I am lying to you, tell me, who burnt down my apartment? You checked with the fire department. They told you, they confirmed to you that this was an act of arson. The US government did this to try and destroy my evidence. To try and shut me up.
And if this man is not lying, how then are we to explain the death of this US Marine?
This is the Marine that we were working with. He came forward to talk to us about this alien conspiracy, and now he's dead. That's not a coincidence. US government assassins murdered him and his family, and they made this look like a suicide.
Because he blew the whistle?
Yes, because he blew the whistle. Because he came forward to tell us what he had seen. Vice President Dick Cheney turning from a human into an alien.
And if his story is nothing more than a hoax, who was it that destroyed his best friend's life?
Brandon and I, we went too far, man. We got too close to the truth. And now his life, and my life, it's over.
Is this man to be believed? Did he indeed capture on his video camera the most important story of our time? Or is he lying? On this edition of Truth Seeker TV, we will reveal what our investigation into this man's account unearthed, and what we found may shock you. Los Angeles, California, December 2005. Our subject has agreed to grant us an interview, but only if we protect his anonymity. Because he fears for his life, we have agreed not to call him by his real name. For the purpose of this report, we will refer to him as Mr. X. Okay, Mr. X, tell us your story.
It's really not my story. It's Brandon Corey's story. Brandon was a successful businessman and a father of two. And he was a great dad. I mean, he was raising these kids on his own after his wife Mary left him. Brandon was a good person, no doubt about it. But he was so naive. He trusted people too easily. See, he loved to learn, and so he was always hanging out with these super intelligent people. But some of these people, some of these so-called friends, they were not genuine. Brandon had been hanging out with this character named Jude Kemper. Kemper was a documentary filmmaker, and he was making this movie on Vice President Dick Cheney. It's a very anti-Dick Cheney film. And during the filming of it, before he could finish it, Jude Kemper disappeared.
The anti-Dick Cheney film Jude Kemper was making at the time of his disappearance was entitled The Warmonger. While Kemper's film was never finished, Truthseeker TV has procured the following clip.
There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction. There is no doubt that he is amassing them to use against our friends, against our allies, and against us.
Vice President Dick Cheney is not just a greedy, thieving warmonger. There is much more to the shapeshifter that has yet to be revealed. The real Dick Cheney must be exposed.
What was your opinion of Jude Kemper?
I didn't like him. I mean, I didn't agree with his politics at all. I mean, Christ, I voted for Bush and Cheney. But I can see how a guy like Brandon fell under Jude's spell. Brandon was naive. And Jude was tricky.
This is Brandon Corey's ex-wife, Mary Hill. We asked Miss Hill for her impressions of her ex-husband's best friend and guru, Jude Kemper.
Jude was definitely in your face when it came to his political views. Very left-wing, and he wanted everybody to know it. He's a very intelligent person, you know, no doubt about it. Very articulate, but out there. Conspiracy stuff. He once went on and on to me about how we are living in Orwellian times and how one day very soon we will be living in a police state, and I don't know. To be honest, he was not tactful, and at times he was inappropriate.
How so?
He kept referring to Vice President Dick Cheney as a terrorist and a Satanist.
Dick Cheney and the masters he serves are not here on planet Earth to bring peace and prosperity through public service. This is only their cover. These lizards are here to enslave humanity by creating war, chaos, and destruction.
Jude was trying to finish this documentary film he was making, The Warmonger. So Brandon invited a bunch of us up to his house in Malibu to screen the film, to watch it. But the film didn't have an ending. It was missing its final scene. So we watched the film all the way up until the ending, and that's when Jude stood up and he told us what his idea was for the final scene of his film.